Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So we are here to do my Cycle 6 wrap up. I know that it's since I did this, but I want to get this done. So yeah, I ended up reading 13 books in Cycle 6. It honestly, 90% of them were audiobooks, I'm starting to realize. And that's okay with me. I listen a lot while I'm at work. I am getting back into physically reading, so I have a couple on my list here. These may not get read this month. Like, I'm not going into this as Delulu as I usually do. I have that stack from the library, which y'all have seen, that I want to read. And those are kind of my main focus right now. I still have less than 100 pages left of the Book of Life. And then I found out that she's coming out with a new one. I just have to get my hands on my new library card, which I think is still in my car. And then I can request that from the library. And then I learned that Times Convert is also part of the series. So I can't wait. I cannot wait. But all that to say, I do have the ones I want to finish here. Brain went to TBR for some reason and not wrap up. We'll get there, I promise. That video is coming. But for my wrap up, most of them were audio, and that's fine with me. Let's get into some stats. So, of my star breakdown, I did not have any 1 stars, did not have any 2 stars. I had almost evenly split of 3, 4, and 5. I had 35.7% 3-star, 28.6% of 4 stars, and then 35.7% of 5 stars. So it was almost evenly split between the three, which is not bad, honestly. I think 4-star would have ended up being a little bit bigger, closer to a 3-star. But there was one book I gave 4.75 stars and threw it in with the 5s instead of the 4s because it felt like more of a 5. And then as far as pages, I want to start reading bigger books. I have been reading a lot of smaller books, so I'm just going to put it by my head. I'm not going to read all these out to you. But my 500 plus pages was only 15.4%, which I think is too small. I want to get that more to like 50 to 75%. That might be wishful thinking. But let's talk about what I read. I'm going to kind of run through these. There's a couple I might want to give a little more information about, but one of them I've already done a full review on, and some of them I just don't have a lot to say. I've already put up my blog post for this, and in that I only discussed 2 books because the rest of them I really did not have enough to really talk about. Even though I read 13 of them. So without further ado, let's get in. So the first book I read, there is a full review on the channel, which is actually getting a lot of love, and that is Blood at the Root. I gave that 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I recommend it to anyone who is looking for like a summer cookout in a book, especially a black summer cookout in a book, because that's how that book feels to me, and it still feels that way even sitting now, almost a month past finishing it. Next, I finished Perfect, which is the third in the Pretty Little Liars series. I gave it 3 stars. I don't have much to say. I can't believe that somebody published these. I understand it was the early 2000s. Like, it has such harmful language and harmful acts for a teenager to be reading. And to know that come out when I was a teenager makes me worried. I wouldn't want my daughter reading this at 12 or 13. This would be like a 16, 17-year-old kind of book where she already understands who she is. She's out of that pure that peer pressure age, and like is a little more concrete in who she is as a person kind of book, not what this was technically marketed for. Next, I reread Fire of the Stars and read for the first time Of Ice and Shadows. Fire and Stars, I gave 5 stars. Of Ice and Shadows, I gave 4. I could have left it alone. It does leave itself open for another book. It is a queer love story. You have a princess from a rival kingdom coming in to marry the prince, and she has powers. Powers are illegal in this kingdom, and so she's trying to keep them hidden. And one thing happens to another. Obviously, her powers are shown, and crap falls out, and she ends up falling in love with his sister. Next, I finished one. I finished two. I finished first two of the series, and I'm currently reading the third one, which I told y'all about. That is Discovery of Witches and the Shadow of Life. I love these so much more than I thought I was going to. These books follow Matthew and Diana. Diana is a witch who teaches at Yale? Question mark. She teaches at one of the Ivy Leagues, and she researches manuscripts, old alchemical manuscripts, and that's just what she does for a living. And she calls up a manuscript to further her research, and as soon as she touches it, she realizes it's been bewitched. And then she gets it open and everything, only come find out that it's a lost tome that all the creatures thought had been lost, and they call it the Book of Life. They think that it holds secrets of how they came to be. She sends it back to the stacks, and now all these creatures are ganging up on her, trying to get her to get the book back and think that she may still have the book. Like, it turns into this big deal. She ends up with a bodyguard in the form of a vampire named Matthew Claremont. Matthew decides that this is his new project. He's going to protect Diana, and hopefully she's going to get the book for him. And the two end up falling. And now they're on the run. Because in this society, witches and vampires and demons are not supposed to mix. They're not supposed to be seen in public together, and they're not supposed to have any intermingling. So just the fact that he has become her new bodyguard is not okay. And yeah, this series is so good. They are a little longer. Discovery of Witches is 579 pages, and then The Shadow of Life is 584. And I think the one I'm reading currently, which is the Book of Life, is like 560 something. So they're not short books at all, but they are worth it. I love it. The only thing I will say is if you do not like historical fantasy, you're not going to like Shadow of Life, because it is set in 1587, I believe. I'm not going to tell you why, but it's just set in the way past. So if that's not something you're interested in, I wouldn't pick that one up. Next, I finished Love of My Own by Elan Harris. This has been on so many TBRs, and so I've been waiting so long for this. I did give it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I think we got to see a new side of our characters that I already fell in love with from The Invisible Life and from the Yancy Braxton series. And I will read anything Elan Harris puts out. I really will. I'll read anything the man decides to write. I know he has passed, so I'm hoping to read everything he's ever written. Next, I read Everlasting Rose, which is a second in the Belle series. Don't think I'm going to move on with that one. This is one I don't have much to say about because I don't remember it. Honestly, I gave it 3 stars, which is very fitting for me. I just don't have much to say. Yeah, I don't. Next, I have The Maid by Nina Prose. This one, I disliked our main character so much, as she read more like a caricature of she read more of a character than an actual character. The mystery was interesting enough to get me through it, and it was interesting enough that I picked up the second one. I have finished it, and I also gave it 3 stars. So I'm probably going to pick up the third one because the mystery interests me, but I find her a little annoying, and I find being in her head even more annoying. And yeah, no, I'm there for the side characters and the mystery, because Nina Prose can write a mystery. Just her main character, Molly, is interesting. Interesting is the word I'm going to use. Next, I finished She Gets the Girl. This was honestly just one of those that I realized it was queer and said, why not? I gave it 5 stars. It's a really cute little romance. It is about 2 girls falling in love. It starts out as I'm going to help you get your girl. So one of our main characters has been in love with the same girl since high school, and now they're in college. She is still in love with her. They go to the same college, and the new friend into the group, she is charismatic and can be manipulative and a little bit promiscuous. And her girlfriend tells her, "You're not serious about anybody. You cannot make close connections. That's not what you do." So she sets out to prove her girlfriend wrong by helping the other main character get her girl. And yeah, things end up happening. I found it very cute and adorable, and I would definitely reread. That's why I gave it 5 stars. Next is another 5 star that honestly was just cute and adorable, and I can't wait to move on. And that is a society, or was a very secret society of irregular witches. I found this to be downright fucking adorable. I listened to this as I did 90% of these, and I would definitely re-listen. I might actually buy myself a copy once it's come out a little bit more, or a little more time passed since it come out. Because right now, thrift books even wants like $15 for a copy, and your girl's not down to spend money like that yet. Not on books. But I love this so much. I found it adorable. The way she goes to help, and like she's teaching these 3 girls how to be witches. It was just so cute. It was a cozy fantasy time, and I loved it. There's only 2 more. So the next one I finished is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I gave this 4 stars. The way it ended made me a little angry. I wanted more from it. And I'm gonna leave it there because I think if I tell you too much, I'm gonna give away the ending, and I don't want to. If you've not heard of this one, if you've been under a rock, this book follows Addie. Addie made a deal with the devil. She calls him the devil, but he's like, I'm Shadow. Like, it never really is clear what he is. He is a god. And with this deal, she ends up living forever, or living a long life, I should say. And so Addie has been alive for 300 years, and her curse is that no one can remember her. So as soon as they walk through a doorway or close a door, they no longer remember Addie. And so it has gotten her into some sticky situations, and she's starting to live until one day, this boy, she goes into a bookstore. Even though she walks through the door, like, he still chases her down because she stole a book. He lets her keep it, and she comes back the next day to try to trade in and says, "Hey, my friend bought me this book, but I don't read. It's in a foreign language. Can I trade it in for something else?" And he's like, "What the hell? How are you gonna trade it into the same person you stole from yesterday?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I remember you. You stole that yesterday." And so it's like a world-shattering thing for Addie, because you're not supposed to remember me. And the story kind of takes off from there. I gave it 4 stars. Again, the ending. And then lastly, the only one I haven't talked to you about yet is Murder Road by Scarlett St. Clair. If you know me, you've heard me rave about her books. I love her paranormal thriller mystery. This one just did not hit the same way her other ones have. Her other ones I absolutely loved, and they live with me. Broken Girls is my favorite. I loved it so much. I did not care for Sundown Motel as much. I think it's the name of it. I feel like there's another word, but I don't think there is. I think it's just a Sundown Motel. I didn't care for it as much. I read the Book of Cold Cases. That's what got me started, and I really enjoyed it. So when I went to Murder Road, I was like, I'm going to love this. And I kind of didn't. I think the mystery was interesting. There wasn't really a twist, in my opinion. I saw it coming. And I think that this one just wasn't for me. I think that if you've not read a whole bunch of mystery thrillers, which I'm on a kick of right now, I realized when I was updating my book journal, then you may enjoy this one a little more. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't awful. Let me tell you, it's not awful. I do recommend it. I just think that if you have read her other books, this one, it was super obvious what was going on here, in my opinion. Like, I saw it coming from the very beginning. Um, I do think the way that the paranormal um, aspect. That's what I'm looking for. So the paranormal aspect is wrapped into this book is very freaking interesting, and it's very new for her. Um, it if I say what I want to say, I'm gonna give it away. It's not like it was before, and I love that. I think it turns that paranormal aspect on its head a little bit, and that part was interesting. It's probably why it ended up getting 3 stars. The rest of it I saw coming, and that's something that bugs me with a thriller. I don't mind if it's like if you're paying attention to the clues, you can figure it out. I don't pay attention to the clues. I'm like empty thoughts. I'm just here for vibes. And I still figured it out, even without trying to pay too close attention. And that bugged me. So take that for what you will. But there you have it. Those are the 13 books I finished this cycle. You're actually a week into cycle 7 already, and I have finished 4 more, I believe. There's a question mark there. But I think I finished 4 more. So it is going pretty well. I finished 2 today for sure, and I finished 2 yesterday. So 4 more. And then if I can finish Book of Life tonight, that'll be 5. But let me know. What have you read recently? You know what? I'm going to put it this way. What have you consumed? What have you done that you're excited about and you want to share? I would love to hear about it in the comments, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye, guys.